America in this morning blame game. Democrats and Republicans trading jabs over the government shutdown.
This is utter madness.
Negotiating with President Trump is like negotiating with Jell-O.
Iconic monuments and parks closed, with government workers bracing for furloughs. What will it take to make a deal?
Taking it to the streets, huge crowds gather across the country for the second Women's March. Thousands of people, from politicians to celebrities, rally for change as celebrities like Natalie Portman open up about their own personal struggles.
Addressing the accusations, the embattled Missouri governor speaking out about his extramarital affair. His first interview since the scandals come to light.
There was no violence. This was all consensual.
What he's saying about allegations of blackmail and hush money.
And we've got a combo this morning of gridiron and glamour. Players ready to rumble at the NFL championships. Will Tom Brady play? Meanwhile, Hollywood gearing up for tonight's SAG Awards. Kristen Bell hosting.
Like, take a risk.
Could it offer the biggest hints yet on who will take home an Oscar?
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And we say happy Sunday, everyone. Good morning and welcome to day 2 of the government shutdown.
Yes, welcome to day 2. There's a live look at one of the casualties of this shutdown. Lady Liberty, the Statue of Liberty, closed because of the shutdown. And we also have a live look this morning at Capitol Hill. Members of Congress are sleeping in this morning. They worked somewhat late last night. They're going to reconvene in a few hours to try to resolve an impasse that has devolved into name-calling, blame-shifting, and inflammatory accusations.
They're sleeping in and they're still getting paid. President Trump, seen here in the Oval Office working the phone, says Democrats orchestrated the crisis to mar the first anniversary of his inauguration. But our new poll, taken before the shutdown, it shows the White House was already facing some real problems.
According to the new ABC News Washington Post poll, the president's overall job approval rating stands at 36%. That's the lowest rating in modern polling for a president at this point. Nearly half say Trump is not mentally stable.
Now, there is a little bit of good news for the president on Russia. Approval of Robert Mueller's handling of the investigation has dropped 8 points.
We're covering all the angles right here this morning. George is standing by. Let's start with ABC's David Wright, though, who's right there on Capitol Hill. David, good morning.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. As this government shutdown enters day 2, the president is already up and tweeting, saying, "Great to see how hard Republicans are fighting for our military and safety along the border. Democrats just want illegal immigrants to pour into the country." That gives you a sense for where we stand on this shutdown. Not even close to resolving things. This morning, Lady Liberty on lockdown.
I think it's just dumb on both sides.
The ultimate symbol of a partisan battle over immigration so intense, it has ground the federal government to a standstill.
Day 1 of the Senate Democrats' government shutdown.
Republicans accuse the Democrats of holding the nation hostage for the sake of illegal immigrants.
The Senate Democrats are basically conducting a 2-year-old temper tantrum in front of all the American people.
The Trump campaign even released this inflammatory ad, suggesting the Democrats will have blood on their hands.
Democrats who stand in our way will be complicit in every murder committed by illegal immigrants.
The Democrats accuse the president of negotiating in bad faith.
Negotiating with President Trump is like negotiating with Jell-O.
They insist the shutdown is proof the Republicans aren't fit to govern.
He promised infrastructure. He gave us a train wreck. And now, 1-year anniversary, a big, fat failure F for that first year.
1 year after President Trump vowed to end Washington gridlock once and for all.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action.
Instead of action, there's now a full-scale government shutdown. Many federal workers, including Michael Sesma, have been through this before.
The longer we're out, the longer it's going to take to catch up, and the greater burden is going to be on taxpayers.
During the 2013 government shutdown, Citizen Trump accused President Obama of failing to lead.
You have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The president has to lead.
Why isn't he following his own advice?
I guess I would say that is what he is doing.
But as of today, the idea of a bipartisan deal seems like a lost art in Washington.
We do some crazy things in Washington, but this is utter madness.
Now, last night, the president was due to attend a black tie fundraiser at Mar-a-Lago to celebrate his one-year anniversary. He skipped that event, but his son Eric called in to Fox News from there saying, in his opinion, the shutdown is actually good for them.
David, you mentioned in your story that the Trump camp released the new ad criticizing Democrats, saying they'll have blood on their hands if there are murders by illegal immigrants. They also tinkered with the voice message at the White House. So if you call the White House, you get a special message. What's going on there?
Yeah, this is one of the many ways in which the normal business of government has been weaponized for politics. If you call into the White House switchboard, this is what you hear.
Thank you for calling the White House. Unfortunately, we cannot answer your call today because congressional Democrats are holding government funding, including funding for our troops and other national security priorities, hostage to an unrelated immigration debate.
Go figure. All that any of us can do is hope with the rest of the country that this thing is over quickly. Dan and Paula?
All right, David Wright from Capitol Hill. We want to bring in George Stephanopoulos with a look at what's ahead on this week. George, good morning.
Good morning.
To you. Okay, so let's talk about the shutdown. Neither side is really willing to compromise or budge. We know that they're back at it today, the House and the Senate, but considering the posturing from both parties, we heard that voicemail from the White House, we saw the Trump ad campaign. Do you think that they're actually going to get something done in compromise here?
Well, they're going to have to eventually. The government's not going to stay closed forever. The question is, how long is it going to take? And you can see the argument on both sides. As our poll showed, you guys showed it. People coming into this debate believe that the president and the Republicans will be to blame by a wide margin. But the White House believes they have the better argument going forward to this idea that the Democrats are holding the government hostage for illegal immigration. What complicates that is that many Republicans, at least four Republicans, did not vote to keep the government open either on Friday. The question is, if Republicans can get unified, they might be able to figure out a way to get to the next step. My guess is what's most likely is that you'll see some kind of an extension, reopening the government for a few weeks in return for some more negotiations over immigration and DACA, but they are not there yet.
So this thing could keep going. Let's just dig into the ABC News Washington Post poll that you referenced. Trump's approval rating right now, historically low. Also, we have nearly half of Americans questioning his mental stability and nearly 2/3 rejecting his assertion that he's a genius. How damaging is this dynamic to his overall agenda?
Well, we've never seen anything like this before after 1 year into a presidency. The biggest problem for the president is that is likely to be the biggest drag on Republicans going into the midterms. And if Democrats take over the House, the chances of President Trump getting impeached in the House go up dramatically. So that's one big concern he has right now. I think the other thing to look at here is that you combine the approval ratings of the president with the fact that you have the most positive views on the economy in 20 years, in almost 20 years, in 17 years. And the fact that the president's approval rating is that low when people have such a strong view of the economy should be a real warning sign for the White House.
And real quick with the Russia investigation, Robert Mueller's approval has dipped 8 points. Is that a sign that the strategy to discredit him is working?
A little bit. I think that the White House and many Republicans in Congress have convinced more Republicans, at least, that Robert Mueller has some problems with his investigation. But in the end, what happens in the investigation is going to depend on the evidence that Robert Mueller compiles, not what is showing up in polls.
I know you're going to be digging more into these numbers on your show. Thanks so much, George. A reminder, George has a big show coming up. He's going to get the White House's response to the government shutdown from Legislative Affairs Director Mark Short.
Plus, Democrat Senator Dick Durbin, who was part of the bipartisan group trying to make a DACA deal, he's going to weigh in on where things stand. That's all coming up on this week. Thanks again, George. As the president was ensconced in the White House on Saturday, monitoring this crisis, right outside and across the country, protest marches.
Celebrities, politicians joining the many women's marches. ABC's Eva Pilgrim joins us in studio. Eva, what did you see at the march here in New York?
Well, there were a lot of people here in New York, and this isn't just a New York thing or a U.S. thing. There were over 250 marches expected this weekend. Organizers dubbing it #Weekend of Women.
Across the country, huge crowds, hundreds of thousands packing in, calling for change. From Philadelphia to San Francisco, Dallas to Toronto, almost 200,000 people in New York alone.
Stretching for as far as the eye can see, people lined up to march
for blocks here in New York City. This year's march falling on the one-year anniversary of President Trump's inauguration. The president tweeting about his success, celebrate the historic milestones and unprecedented economic success and wealth creation that has taken place.
Yeah, just marching for his future, really.
Some protesting the president's policies. Others joining the growing Me Too movement and Time's Up campaign as more women come forward, breaking their silence on sexual harassment and assault. In LA, celebrities turning out in force. Natalie Portman opening up about her own experience at just 13 years old.
From small comments about my body to more threatening, deliberate statements serve to control my behavior through an environment of sexual terrorism.
And Scarlett Johansson taking aim at actor James Franco, who recently denied allegations of sexual misconduct. Franco wearing a Time's Up pin at the Golden Globes.
How could a person publicly stand by an organization that helps to provide support for victims of sexual assault while privately preying on people who have no power? I want my pin back, by the way.
Viola Davis calling for all Americans to stand up for each other.
Your job as an American citizen is not just to fight for your rights. It's to fight for the right of every individual.
And more marches are planned for today, including a Power to the Polls march. That's going to happen in Las Vegas.
But you did see some Trump supporters
There
out
were a handful of Trump supporters. So a lot of the people who were here were marching as part of that Me Too movement, that campaign that has started with women. Those two things don't exist opposite of each other all the time.
Not mutually exclusive.
Yes.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Eva.
Appreciate it.
And we want to move now to a political scandal. The governor of Missouri fighting back this morning after explosive allegations stemming from an extramarital affair, an affair that he does admit to having.
The governor's now giving his first interview since the scandal broke, but he's denying some harsh claims against him as a criminal investigation is launched. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with more. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. Republican Missouri Governor Eric Greitens now at the center of a sex scandal. Some Democrats and even members of his own party calling for him to resign. But Greitens says he's not going anywhere.
Embattled Missouri Governor Eric Greitens speaking out in his first interview on camera since admitting to a months-long affair with his former hairdresser.
This was a consensual relationship.
Now confronting bombshell allegations of blackmail and threats of violence that have made him the target of a criminal investigation.
There was no violence. This was all consensual.
But in a 2015 recording secretly made by her then husband, the woman says during that encounter in his home, Greitens bound her hands and blindfolded her, took a photo of her partially nude, and warned her to remain silent.
There was no violence. There was no threat of violence. There was no blackmail. There was no threat of blackmail.
Greitens also firmly denying that anyone associated with him paid the woman not to talk.
Those things are absolutely false.
And it's important, I think, to note that we've not heard from the woman that was involved in the affair. We're hearing from her ex-husband. We need to hear from this woman because she knows what happened in that basement when he allegedly taped her and took the nude photograph.
The controversy, a stain for the former Navy SEAL, a rising star in the Republican Party, and married father of two.
But most importantly, I am a very proud husband and father.
Despite calls from some on both sides of the aisle to resign, the country's second youngest governor defiant in the face of the sex scandal, telling the Associated Press, "I'm staying, I'm staying."
The St. Louis Circuit Attorney has launched a criminal investigation, but Greitens maintains he's done nothing illegal. When asked about his relationship with his wife and supporters, he said, quote, "We are strong." He also says he called all of the lawmakers in Missouri to apologize and posted an apology on Facebook as well.
All right, Ariel, thank you very much. A lot of other news on this Sunday morning. Let's check the rest of the headlines with Dr. Ron Claiborne.
Dr. Dan Harris, good morning to you. Paula, good morning to you. Robert, good morning. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin in Afghanistan, overseas, where gunmen stormed a hotel popular with foreigners in Kabul, the capital city, shooting at guests and security guards over the course of a 12-hour gun battle. At least 6 people have been killed, including 1 foreigner, and 6 others injured. Well, more than 150 others were rescued from the Intercontinental Hotel, some using sheets to escape through windows. Afghan forces say they killed all of the assailants. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for that attack. Back in the U.S., House Speaker Paul Ryan has ordered an investigation into reports that Pennsylvania Congressman Patrick Meehan used taxpayer dollars to settle a sexual harassment complaint by a former female aide, the Speaker, also removing Meehan from the post on the House Ethics Committee and calling on him to repay the money that he used, if he used that. Meehan, meanwhile, is denying the allegations. In California, the death toll from last week's devastating mudslides in Santa Barbara County, that has now risen to 21. On Saturday, search teams are finding the body of a missing mother from Montecito, 28-year-old Fabiola Benitez Calderon. 2 other people are still missing. Evacuees are beginning to return to the area, and officials are expected to return the main highway, to reopen the main highway 101 on Monday. In Nigeria, police say that 2 Americans and 2 Canadians who were kidnapped last week by gunmen, they have now been released. The 3 men and 1 woman were rescued Saturday after a massive manhunt. Police say no ransom was paid for their release. A suspect has been arrested in connection with that kidnapping. In Chicago, a woman known as the serial stowaway. She has struck again. 66-year-old Marilyn Hartman was able to sneak onto a flight at Chicago's O'Hare Airport and make it all the way to London without a ticket, boarding pass, or passport. She was flown back to the U.S. and is facing felony theft and criminal trespass charges. Hartman has been caught trying to sneak onto flights before in various cities. It's been going on for years now. And finally, a couple in Minnesota have turned their home into a kind of shrine to their favorite team, favorite football team. Guess who? It's the Vikings kingdom, with everything from throws to stuffed animals, Christmas lights, even the kitchen cabinets. Purple and gold. Color
Not
of the Vikes.
subtle.
Yeah, not subtle at all. They say it started back in 1998 with a poster of Randy Moss when he played for them. They've been buying everything Vikings they can get their hands on ever since. That's a lot of stuff.
Hard not to pull for the Vikings, considering they never won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, everything that they got going on.
It's easy to pull against the Patriots, they say.
Very much so, especially with Dan.
Cynics and negativists say that.
You kind
Let's
of
just see how today goes.
You're neutral.
We'll talk next weekend.
Hey, purple certainly does brighten up a room.
Yeah,
I do like purple. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
And we do want to turn now to the flu epidemic. Emergency rooms across the country are getting slammed.
The death toll growing. The chief medical correspondent for ABC News, Dr. Jen Ashton, is going to break it all down for us now by the numbers. Jen, good morning to you. The CDC, as you know, just issued its most recent report. Sadly, 10 more pediatric deaths this week. Tell us about it.
Right, Dan. So flu by the numbers. We're up to 30 confirmed flu-associated pediatric deaths thus far in the season. We hear about these every year, but it does not get easier, especially in this age group. It's a tragic situation. And right now, up to approximately 75,000 confirmed flu cases. And again, most people aren't tested, so the number is likely higher than that.
Yeah, physicians are said they're seeing more patients that are sicker than usual. But what numbers do we have to keep in mind to avoid passing it on to others?
Paula, I think the key thing is about time and distance. Time that you can spread the flu 1 day before you develop symptoms and up to 5 to 7 days after your symptoms begin. And in terms of transmitting the flu virus can travel up to at least 6 feet, and that's by coughing, sneezing, breathing, or talking. So keep your distance.
And what about antiviral drugs like Tamiflu?
Well, we used to hear, Dan, that it was only 48-hour window. If you didn't start the medication, then it was basically ineffective. Now there's data that it can be helpful even after that 2-day window. It can shorten your symptoms in terms of duration by about 1 day. But most importantly, if someone has been exposed to a person who has known or suspected influenza, data suggests that it can reduce the chances of that person getting sick themselves by up to as much as 80+%.
Wow.
So multiple uses for those antiviral medications, and they are available in generic form.
Absolutely. Dr. Jen Ashton, as always, with tons of useful information. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Jen.
Let's turn now to the weather. Robert is here. He's going to tell us that winter is over. We have nothing to worry about.
The winter is over temporarily in this studio. Elsewhere, it's still going on. I want to show you what's happening in Wyoming. Blizzard warnings are posted for a good chunk of the country, and this is what's happening. And what happened yesterday across I-80, truckers pulling over the side of the road, chaining up and just trying to get down the street there. Telluride, where they want the snow, they had plenty of it yesterday as well. There's Main Street. Just traffic is slow there. And I-25 earlier this morning, just outside of Denver, this is what it looked like. So we've got snow falling right in Denver proper. And just to the east of there is where we have these blizzard warnings now up eastern Colorado, up through parts of Nebraska, northwest Iowa, and into southern Minnesota, where winds will be cranking and the snow will be coming down, in some cases sideways. Mostly rain getting into Chicago by tomorrow morning. But again, there's your swath of potentially heavy rain and thunderstorms out ahead of this thing, and maybe some wraparound moisture through parts of